morning, Dingleberry.
Welcome back to Euphoria. So we're getting backstory on Nate's dad. I don't think it's gonna make me like him, but I'm curious. So when are these two gonna, you know? Oh, wrestling. It has got to be the gayest sport that has ever been created, and yet it's never really viewed in that light. Well, so far I'm enjoying the sights at least.
That comfortable.
That attracted to each other. I feel you. You know, not in defeat. Okay, I mean, so far it seems like a pretty standard case of a bisexual person who just doesn't want to admit it as a result of the times and I'm sure, you know, family life and whatnot. Come on, just do it already. Oh, and here's why they don't.
Get up.
I will.
Right now.
I'm getting flashbacks. Not fun. Skinny dipping is actually pretty fun. So much sexual tension. It's ridiculous. Like, obviously that's the point, but good lord.
Cal was going to Duke, and Derek was going to a state school out west.
So what, they never actually hook up? I mean, that's realistic and all, but what the fuck? Or is this the moment?
Just the two of them.
Yeah, this is the moment. Oh no, I'm getting all wet. Aw, that's cute. I do really like this song. When are these two gonna kiss? Come on, it's gotta be like any second now. I don't imagine they'll take it well. You know, it'll probably be a big shock, but... Alright. Okay. As I expected, there was the initial shock, but they were like, fuck that, let's go for it. Oh, don't get me emotional like right away. This is actually getting me like a little misty right now. We're not that far into the episode. Doesn't excuse all the shitty things that he did, but I do feel kind of bad for him.
You sure the test is accurate?
Wow. Wow.
Take another one.
You could have still lived, you know, your life as your true self. Sure, it would have been complicated, but what life isn't complicated, dude? Oh, damn it. It's kind of breaking my heart a little bit. Well, that was a solid intro. Rue, how high are you? I'm just waiting for someone to see her and be like, what the fuck are you doing? And the reality of everything is much less impressive.
Well, a certain responsibility to make good decisions. But I relapsed.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, shit. Sorry, that was from last year.
One of the more memorable scenes of season 1.
Because I have panic attacks every fucking day.
There are times where I feel like she's a terrible liar, and times like that where I'm like, that's a very smart way to do it.
What the fuck? The fuck is wrong? What the
Damn.
Are you fucking crazy? Shit about you? You don't give a shit about me? You fucking mom. You're fucking crazy.
Damn. I hate how the show sometimes will go from like such a funny moment to like something really real like that. It gives me whiplash. Like, I love it, but I hate it. Don't gaslight girl boss your way through this, Rue. That is not...
It's better than committing suicide.
Rue, that is so fucking manipulative. That is fucked up. After everything she's put her sister through, also, that is so fucking selfish. I have a bad feeling the karma train's gonna hit Rue really, really hard this season.
He wants to fuck you. You really think so? Yes, I know so.
I do kind of think so.
Do you want to fuck her?
Gosh.
How many guys have you fucked?
43.
Are you serious?
How many guys have you fucked?
She doesn't want to answer that question because she's kind of a whore.
A whore?
What?
Did she say 100 something? I swear I heard 100 something.
Mentally ill amount of people to fuck.
What did she say?
No, that's like, I didn't say that I didn't want to fuck you or Rue.
So you want to fuck Jules?
Oh?
I don't like you.
Why?
It seems like you kind of do, actually.
You know, even though you've been gangbanged by the entire galaxy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I would like for them to all just be like a good, like, you know, trio of friends. You know, with Rue and Jules in a relationship. No, it's gonna be Nate. Oh, it's the father. Oh, hello. It would be so wonderful if she wasn't lying to everybody and doing drugs, but alas, we are here. Hey, Lexi.
Vice Principal Garcia, hi.
She often imagined that her parents weren't really her parents, and that her house wasn't even really her house.
This sounds familiar to something else Rue said in
That
the
it was
first
just a
season.
movie.
I think she said it about Jules, though.
Show you a photo of the
Oh, are we about to get, like, super meta right now? What is going on? Okay.
Well, the
I
story's
was
about
not
a 16-year-old
expecting
girl.
this.
Come with me.
Oh my gosh.
The sidekicks are action. And I was like, TV show, the sidekick is the lead.
So she just started writing. And writing.
Usually the best kind of stories that we tell come from experiences in our life. Like, I guarantee 99% of this show, or well, probably like 90% of this show is stuff that actually happened to the director and writers. Kind of feel that.
She only thought about one thing.
God damn it. I really wish you could just get that out of your head.
But there was also something refreshing about the amount of time she was putting into herself.
I mean, you can also overdo it.
It was her way of telling him that she was his.
That's so unhealthy. This is making me so uncomfortable. That's really sad, actually. Like, just that one glance just makes her feel, you know, so worthwhile. Oh.
Wait, what?
Damn, that's even worse.
Yo, Jules, I dare you to take a piss in the middle of the street. Past couple days, and I
Oh my gosh.
wanted you not to. I'm into scat play, and if you wanted to, like,
I'm into scat play. Oh my god. Oh no. When a drug addict doesn't get their fix, things go south real fast.
Yes, I'd figure out a way to do drugs for free.
Only way to do that is basically to deal drugs.
What if I am a genius?
No, you're not.
Fucking genius. It's front me like $5,000 worth of drugs, okay? And then
No,
Only-
the fuck, no.
okay, well before you say no, you kind of have to let me finish, right?
No, the fuck, no.
Lexi hadn't told anyone about the play, including Cassie.
I mean, people might get their feelings hurt, but fuck it. Okay, Cowgirl.
Wait, are you in the play?
Oh my god, do I look like I'm in Oklahoma?
Why would your play be set in Oklahoma? Then why the fuck do you look like you're auditioning for Oklahoma?
I don't understand. If you're not auditioning for Oklahoma, then why do you look like that?
Like
My
what?
gosh.
Like a country music star.
In a good way or a bad way?
Bitch, you better be joking.
Yeah, kind of a bad one.
He's in love with me, Jacobson. He's in love with me. And you know, you fucking give me that look, Maddie, because I didn't fuck your boyfriend. You two were broken up for 3 weeks.
She's not actually saying all this, is she?
I have never, ever been happier.
God.
But she didn't say that. In fact,
of course
it was
not.
much weirder.
You were really unhappy. But when it was bad, was it really that bad?
Yes.
Been fucking every Friday night for the last 3 weeks.
Only on Friday?
Who am I? Oof. I mean, I'm kind of trying to just figure it out myself.
I feel the secondhand embarrassment so hard right here. Like, oh my gosh.
Wow. Wasn't that illuminating?
Cat wanted to crawl into a hole and fucking die.
Yeah, I would too. That was pretty bad. It's... Ew.
Dinner's ready.
Oh, hello. Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me.
A business opportunity.
Your eyes are a little too wide.
Okay.
Oh my
Maybe-
god, that mole is enormous.
Intent to sell is a way bigger sentence.
Not if you're under 18.
Hmm.
Which is nothing to having your entire life.
That's
released on the internet, so
extremely
the incentive to
immoral.
snitch is basically-
That actually is a good
This
plan,
is an
though.
amazing plan.
It's true.
Like, I have to
I'm
admit,
finding
it's
a
fucked up, but
50K
it's a
suitcase.
good plan.
10K
Deal.
for 20 and not 7K profit. 3 to me, 40.
Maybe I should
You
start
pay up
selling
and
drugs.
re-up in a
Jesus
month.
Christ.
If you screw me, I'll have you kidnapped and sold to some real sick people.
Okay. It's even
serious.
creepier that she is so, like,
Okay.
kind of funny and dry with the way she talks. The fact that she said that. Because I do believe her. Oh, shit.
Put yourselves into a single file line. We'll be with you momentarily.
I love her voice.
Yeah, well, he deserved it, man. He's a fucking bitch.
True.
Okay, tough guy.
Fuck. Sorry, don't feel bad for you at all.
Because you're in no position to talk shit.
For real.
I'm warning you. You hit me more.
Say something else. Damn.
Fucking cops involved. Watch.
Dude, that actually looks really realistic.
I will.
Alright.
Die, old bitch.
Oh, shit.
You tried to extort my son.
What?
Because of what I did to her friend.
The fuck are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
You know, the blonde. Look, man, I didn't know she was 17.
Ah, shit.
You telling me you had sex with Jewel?
You fucked up right there, Cal.
I even told you I gave a shit about this anyway.
My son.
Yeah, well, that was your first
son, the one
mistake.
that's in love with Jewel?
Oh, that's cute.
Ooh.
That's not cute, man. What the fuck?
A lot of
What?
very
What kind of
important
weird-ass
information being
father-son
shared
shit
right
is
here.
going on around
Do you and your son, like, do you, like, fuck people together?
Oh my gosh.
Out of my fucking life. And rules and jewels, man.
I honestly don't think he could even really
I
stop
don't
him
know
from
shit
doing
about
that,
no
but
fucking disc, man. That's not my problem. Like Rue doesn't want to fuck me.
I don't think she does either.
Why don't you think so?
Kind of clumsy, but you're very much a whore intentionally, which is great. You know?
I just noticed she has little X's like on her eyelids, same as him.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Excuse me? Shut the fuck up. Don't play that shit with me. I've always accepted you for who you are.
Yeah, well, good thing nobody's really looking you to be a fucking parent.
Ah, that was fucked up.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Yeah, that was fucked.
One more fucking disrespectful word out of your mouth and we're done. You hear me? Hey, you hear me?
Well, what, Ali? You gonna hit me?
God damn. Well, that's one relationship you just fucked right there. I get the feeling that's just the first of many, many people that she's gonna burn bridges with. I hope that's just friendship right there, because again, if they start developing feelings, it's just gonna get so much more complicated.
Oh, she's doing really good. Yeah, I'm proud of her.
Breaks my heart. Like, doing drugs and selling drugs are very different from one another. If she thinks it was hard to hide doing drugs, selling them, like having a whole business for it, like that's gonna be impossible to hide. That is such a cool visual, but it's so tragic, honestly. Cassie does not give a fuck about you. Not in the way that actually matters. What a sleazy shit. Maddie, no. Everyone just made a fucking stupid decision this episode. Every single person. I still liked it a lot. I thought it was a great episode, but... Alright, well, overall, I thought it was a very, very interesting episode. It was one of those episodes where a vast majority of people are making, very unwise decisions. I will say, normally, moments like this usually happen later in a season, so I'm very curious to see how all these bad decisions are going to, spiral out of control in the remaining episodes. Having the 15-minute opening be all about Cal and his whole, origin story, essentially. On one hand, I feel like I do see some parallels and similarities to, his son and how history sort of repeats itself. But at the same time, it does seem like they're in very different scenarios. Because as far as I can tell, Nate doesn't have, any guys that he's friends with or anything that he's pining after, unless he does. But if the origin story was anything, it was very logical, I suppose. Like, seeing that he definitely had feelings for his best friend, but was never really comfortable or able to act on it because he had, a shithole dad. And at the time, being gay just was not as accepted. But it does seem like he genuinely, cared about the girls he was with, at least on a superficial level. So I feel like to me, that kind of establishes that Cal is bisexual, which I think is supported by everything else we've seen on the show with him. And I'm not gonna lie, the moment where he kissed his best friend and the two of them are, like, you know, both so happy and also so miserable that they're not gonna see each other again. That was good shit. That actually kind of got me. That, along with how devastated he was that his girlfriend was pregnant and he just felt completely trapped in that scenario. And then later in the episode, when he had his scene with Fez, not only was it pretty intense, because I questioned, you know, whether Ashtray was going to do something a little too drastic, but it was also funny, the fact that pretty much everyone was on a different page and has no idea what's going on, like, midway through the conversation. And it was also great plot progression because now both of these characters are, you know, more privy to the whole picture. And Cal, knowing that Nate, you know, just bullshitted him, I don't exactly know what he's gonna do about it, but he's gonna do something. And on a side note, he got fucked up by Ash. Like, that was ridiculous. Rue's whole storyline was, you know, frustrating. I like that she, you know, talks to the audience and even says, you know, as a beloved character, I feel responsible to make good decisions, but I'm not going to. Like, it's a very self-aware kind of meta way for the show to be like, we know we're making her, you know, quite unlikable in the things that she's doing, but this is the sad truth about people with addictions. Like, sometimes even they are aware of how fucked the things they're doing are, but that doesn't change the fact that they're still going to do them. The developments with Jules and Elliot were very interesting. By the end of the episode, I was like, maybe there's a little spark between the two, and that could cause, you know, even more problems. But I could also easily see that just being they understand each other pretty well. And while Jules is probably going to be very pissed when she finds out about the drugs, not just with Rue, but also with Elliot. It's kind of too bad because it seems like if it weren't for that singular thing, they'd make really, really good friends. Cassie and Nate, I mean, similar to last episode, it's just infuriating to see. It seems like now that the episode's not focused on Nate's kind of perspective, which I'm not really sure if you can consider the last episode to be like a Nate episode, but it kind of felt like that to me. I still hold strong on the fact that I think the last episode was kind of implying that Nate and Cassie's feelings didn't come out of nowhere. They were kind of building up to it in secret. But this episode makes me think that even if that were the case for Cassie, it does not seem to be the case for Nate. He just doesn't care. Like, at this point, it does seem like she's just an easy hookup every Friday night for him. Like, to see her light up so much over a singular glance in the hallway, like that hurted my feelings. I didn't like that. But let's move on to the technicals. Writing in this episode, I personally liked it quite a bit, but again, it's hard to tell with certain character motivations. Nate in particular, I'm like, I cannot tell like what he wants. And I mean, maybe that's the point, you know, he doesn't know what he wants either. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't get a read on like what you will or won't do. As for everybody else, I think it was all very in character. Like Cal scoping, you know, the place out day after day. I personally think he would have done that rather than, you know, go and ask all the questions with a gun in the last episode. I also think it makes sense for Fez to be like, I literally don't give a fuck about whatever is going on with you. I just want Nate to stop fucking with my friends. Like, that is it. Rue really is like watching a train wreck because, true to character, she is self-destructing quite hard. In that scene where she, you know, really ruins things between her and Ollie, that was rough. But again, I 100% feel like that moment had to have been an experience from one of the writers put directly onto the show, because that just felt so real for her to have that, you know, that one opportunity. He told her, like, don't fucking push me right now. Like, I opened up to you and I'm your friend. Don't treat me like that. If you say one more fucking thing, like, it's over. And she just had to say the one thing that would hurt him the most. To play a slight devil's advocate, though, how, intense he got in that moment, it definitely did make me immediately think, oh, so this is, a bit of that old self coming out, it seems. And I think Rue definitely picked up on that as well. As for plot progression, I think there was a ton of it in this episode. Like Rue starting a whole drug scheme, that's definitely a pretty big development. And oh man, that's gonna go so horrifically bad. That's gonna go really bad. Cal and Fez getting as much information as they did is definitely a huge bump forward for both of those characters. Lexi setting up the play, I'm sure is gonna make for a very fun episode a little bit later this season. So yeah, I felt pretty satisfied with the amount of story I got here. That being said, Nate is still a total curveball for me all the time, so I'm just gonna go for a 9 out of 10. Editing was, as usual, fantastic. One thing that I think every episode of the show has, maybe with the exception of like 1 or 2, are these really artistic and interesting montages where they utilize sometimes, pretty basic editing techniques, or sometimes, some really creative stuff. Like at the end of this episode, the montage was like very slow and drawn out and methodical because almost every character was hitting, maybe not necessarily like rock bottom, but new lows. The editors working on this show very well understand when you need to hold on something and when it's time to, pick up the pace. So 10 out of 10. Cinematography was, again, as usual, really, really fantastic. There were a lot of very close-up shots on certain characters, but even still, the typical motion of the cinematography that's become, quite a staple of the show is very prominent in this episode as well. The lighting in this episode was a little bit less neon than, the last episode, so again, it feels a little bit different than the former season. That being said, the lighting in the episode was, fantastic. So I can't complain about it. It's just different. So I'm going to do another 10 out of 10. Sound design was quite good, but for the first time ever, I think there was one moment with the score, actually, that I was like, that felt a little out of place. And that was just the moment where you hear the music winding up really intensely as Ash is telling Cal to make the phone call. I think it was just the fact that it's the exact same music cue that played in the last episode when he kind of fakes them out with the gun that I was like, I feel like you should have gone for a different choice here. But everything else, impressed as usual. So I'll do an 8 out of 10. Acting was, again, unbelievable. I think in terms of best actor for the episode, I would give it to Coleman Domingo. Him and Zendaya, I think, gave the best performances in the episode. But I also thought that Sydney Sweeney did a really good job with that monologue of her just, letting everything out, even if it, wasn't real. And I don't know who the actor was, but the guy playing the young version of Cal, I thought did a really fantastic job also. That moment of happiness and sadness after their kiss, I thought was exceptionally well done. But I still got to give it to Coleman Domingo because that moment where he hits that intensity, seemingly kind of unintentionally, I thought was really well played. And just the hurt in his face when she says what she says. They both really killed it for that scene. I wouldn't put it on the same level as her at the door with Fez from the first season, but it's getting up to that point of how memorable that moment was. So 10 out of 10. Costumes and makeup were so good in this episode for one singular reason. Or not one singular reason. I mean, overall, the costumes and makeup were really, really cool in this episode, including the Oklahoma costume for Cassie. Or, the not Oklahoma costume. But I really loved how they did the blood dripping down Cal's face. Because very rarely in TV shows or movies do you see someone get a head injury and it continuously bleed like it actually does in real life. Normally, they get a big cut which bleeds just a little down their forehead and then stops because that looks cool. But here it's just, pouring down his face and into his eyes, and he's constantly having to wipe it out of his face. It was a very realistic, genuine kind of moment where it actually had me for just a brief moment thinking like, did he actually just like hit him really, really hard and he's actually bleeding right now? I mean, it does happen in films, you know, sometimes when they just get a little too into it, like Leonardo DiCaprio in Django. But anyways, I was super, super impressed with that. And the other costumes and makeup I think were also quite good. So 10 out of 10. Set design. I will say, again, there was nothing in the set design that really impressed me in this one. It's mostly all sets that, you know, we've seen before, which in a, you know, a drama about high school students, that's kind of to be expected. And there's nothing wrong with the sets, it's just, you know, I've seen them. So I guess I'll do an 8 out of 10 for that one. And finally, the visual effects. Again, it seemed like almost everything was practical, if not everything was practical. But the blood dripping down Cal's face throughout that whole conversation was super well done, including the really shocking moment where he like kills himself. Obviously it was, you know, just him imagining doing it, but still it was not only shocking from like how out of nowhere it is, but also pretty shocking in terms of it looked quite realistic. Or, you know, I guess as realistic as I could imagine someone getting shot in the head with a shotgun would be like. So I'll do a 9 out of 10 for that one. And as a brief side note before I get into the final score, I did notice how they used digital cameras when they did the behind the scenes stuff for Lexi's, you know, TV show that she's writing, which was so fucking hilarious. I love that. And that was a nice little attention to detail that they switched it up for that. And that gives this episode a 9.3 out of 10, but I happen to really like this one, so I'm gonna go for a 10 out of 10. I kind of get the feeling a lot of these episodes are gonna get a 10 out of 10, because, I mean, if the show can live up to what season 1 was like, then it's a very real possibility. Yeah, even though characters are making extremely bad decisions in this episode, I think there still was a lot to like about it. Like, obviously there's the traditional production value of the show, just always looks so good. And there was quite a bit here that just felt very real. Obviously the show is, you know, high school drama amped up to an 11, but there are those moments in this show that they get hit really close to home with certain moments, and because of that, I think it elevates it beyond just a teen drama. And since there were so many developments in this episode, there's almost too much to be excited or worried about for the next episode. But regardless, I will see you all there. And that's about it.